we approach FAO as a United Nations agency, so it is a global approach. So indigenous people issue, it's quite relevant under the United Nations. So, and the United Nations made a lot of progress with regards to indigenous rights last decade. And for us, because we came to the United Nations very late. I mean, just after the USSR, disappearing in 19. So, and for us, it's a good lessons how indigenous peoples of Russia can bring our challenges and our voices to the UN level. And of course, FAO is shaping a policy with regards to agriculture and nutrition, and we should be a part of this negotiation and cooperation. So, and we are looking forward to strengthen and how we can work bilaterally or through Russian government together. I already mentioned that we are living in very severe climatic conditions, and for us, nutrition and agriculture, I believe, sounds something different from other regions, because even we have a very specific nutrition based on our traditional lifestyle, reindeer, sea hunting, so we don't have too much vegetables, because of long winter time. So, and for us, land rights and access to biodiversity, access to our traditional land and traditional food is critical. So that is our strong message to FAO and to Russian government, and I think that will be a mainstream we can discuss later. I think it's a very good question, because last 2 days I'm a part of a good discussion between FAO and indigenous peoples. And FAO has a very, I believe, professional staff and expertise with regards to provide studies, research on nutrition, indigenous peoples, and bring a lot of science. But what we need now, we need indigenous peoples expert and traditional knowledge, how it can be incorporated, and how to make a close links between theoretic studies and research with ground knowledge, traditional knowledge, in terms of course, keeping nutrition, keeping traditional knowledge, and how from policy level, from FAO level, to get closer to national and local level. So, because of course there is still a gap from global to local, and that is our joint task and challenge so far. Of course, I am not so optimistic when I listen voluntary, guidelines, because I immediately thinking about the reaction or feedback from government or private sector. What is voluntary? Voluntary is voluntary, But we are looking at FAO as, again, it's a United Nations agency, and it's good to have a policy, including voluntary guidelines. So it can provide and can create a new venue for new negotiation, and even for national legislation shaping or development. So it's like a very positive trend, and direction where we can work together jointly with national government and with FAO and indigenous peoples. Of course, it's a long process, it's a long road, but this is a beginning, and I do believe that jointly we will make more efforts and progress. For my country, even term FPIC is still very challenging and in many cases unaccepted for private sector and for government. But and you know that Russia did not support the United Nations Declaration on Rights of Indigenous Peoples. So this is a big challenge for us, but this is our mission and target, to work together with government, to lobby, to urge them to accept international law and standards with regard to indigenous peoples, and of course to promote FPIC approach. And from that angle, voluntary guidelines and FAO policy on indigenous peoples are quite helpful. So because it provides more international venue and more international so-called influence, and our task to bring to Russia and work together.